All right, everyone. So the episode Revelation has been released, and contrary to popular belief, no, we did not get the reveal in this episode. Really, it doesn't really feel like anything has been revealed as of yet. This is just the start, like this. It feels like this is the start of a big, long series of episodes that's just gonna be a revelation of everything. So I think that's why this episode was called Revelation, not because people found out that Gabriel was monarch. Lila had her suspicions confirmed, but she pretty much knew she just needed that proof, right? Because that's how she gets away with all her lies, because she gets proof or some sort of evidence, like she plants certain evidence. So she has to have something to back up her claims, right? So nothing really new got revealed to us, the viewer, or to the people in the show, but it's just the start, which makes me super excited. And this episode overall so far has been my favorite episode of Miraculous, which is I guess that it's funny because my previous favorite was like Ladybug, like the episode Ladybug back in like season 3. And the reason is because it sort of just aired. We didn't get like any spoilers on it. There was no synopsis, so we had no idea what was going on. And it was a big episode. That was the episode where Lila was going hard on Marinette and made the whole class turn against her. And then we saw like Hawkmoth come out into the open, and then we saw Mayura come out into the open. It's been a while since I've said that name, but just overall a lot happened in that episode, and I wasn't expecting any of it, which made me really enjoy it. And the same thing sort of happened with this episode. We didn't really have a whole lot of spoilers for it, unless if you're looking at the leaks, then you got spoilers, but I don't look at the leaks or anything. So it was just a lot of new, it was just a juicy episode, and I didn't really expect any of it. So it was just a really good episode. Anyway, to sort of talk about my notes about what happened in the episode and things I wanted to point out, Lila was being, her typical lie self again. But then she got dumped by Gabriel, which I was not expecting. Well, I guess we could have guessed that was going to happen. We knew that they were having a falling out, but I didn't know that, he would replace her. So that was certainly interesting. And then Chloe gets found out by the teacher, and she was like, yeah, I've been cheating ever since we knew how to write. It's like, wow, way to just oust yourself like that. But yeah, just stuff with the class happened. And Lila uses that as an opportunity to try to become class representative. And she does, which I have a lot of opinions about. Just overall, this was not a good, the teacher, I don't remember her name, Miss Bustier, that's what it is. This was just a failing teacher moment. This is not how you operate a class. You're supposed to pay attention to your students and just overall, know what's going on and not let them manipulate you. You're supposed to be better than that. And I don't care if Lila's a master manipulator. It's like you still need to have some common sense. Just because Lila wasn't here, that doesn't mean that's not how it works. That's not how the real world works. She was like, we're going to settle this as adults. Okay, but that's not how the world works. If you're not there, the world still moves on. We're not going to go back if you are, going on a trip doing something. It's like, you can't just say, oh, we're going to throw everything out because one person missed it. It's like, that's not how it works. I could see that being the case for certain things, but with this, you already have a system in place. They mentioned that the end of the school year was closed, right? So it's like there was no point other than to just make Lila feel better. But that's not how you settle it as adults. Lila doesn't get to complain that, oh, I wasn't there, so that's not fair, I should have a redo or whatever. That's not how you settle it as adults. This whole scene just was really annoying because it's not realistic at all. Any good teacher, Miss Bustier is supposed to be a good teacher, right? Any good teacher would not do that. So yeah, just overall, that was just not good on the teacher, and just, yeah, a whole lot of bad stuff happened there. Now that right there was a good take. I felt like that's a pretty reasonable take, right? I don't think a whole lot of people would say that's a bad take, right? But what I would say is potentially a controversial take. I think Alya and Nino are bad friends. I know, boo hiss at me all you want, but come on. Marinette has been saying since the very beginning that, Lila has been setting her up. And sure, Marinette didn't have any proof or anything like that. But it's like, if you're truly her friend, especially Alya, who, is Marinette's like, number one person, knows that she's Ladybug, trusts her completely when even she probably shouldn't. It's like, how are you going to not believe Marinette and trust some girl you don't really know? Like, you think she's some amazing girl, but it's like you're trusting her over your best friend who has entrusted you with all of your secrets. That is not what a good friend does. And even if you were like, oh, well, I still think Lila is a good person, like, you can still believe that and still question, Lila could be telling the truth, but you're not even giving Marinette like an opportunity to tell her case, and like, you're not even like listening to her. You're just sort of like blowing it off, like, haha, yeah, whatever, Marinette. Like, that is not what a friend does. Like, even if you have your doubts, you still listen and hear them out, and you don't just like blindly reject them, because you don't need physical evidence always. If someone is telling you something, you can go in being skeptical, but that doesn't mean you just get to outright say no. That's not what happened, because you weren't there. You don't know the experience. So, and if you're not willing to try to see her perspective, you're not her friend. Same thing with Nino, although Nino's sort of an airhead, but with Adrian, he was like, oh, Adrian, because Adrian didn't at first believe this either until he saw it and opened his eyes and actually listened to Marinette, right? But then Nino was, he just doesn't listen to Adrian because he's like, oh, it's just because, he's trying to appeal to Marinette, ha ha ha. But no, it's like, come on, guys. You guys are supposed to be their best friends, but it's not really looking like you are. Like, it's just, it makes me really disappointed in Alya and Nino, because, the rest of the class I can get, you would think that they would be closer friends with Marinette, but like, I can understand if they're not as close where that skepticism may come in. But with Alya and Nino, that is absolutely unacceptable. So there's my hot take. I don't know like how many of you will agree with me, or maybe I'll get some hate being like, oh no, they're actually good people or whatever. But no, after this, it's like, you can't even like contest it. It's not, true friends don't behave like that. And if any of you watching are disagreeing with me on that, then you haven't had a true friend. So yeah, there we go. That's my controversial take of the day. Next thing that happened in the episode is that Gabriel was stupid again, which he is in every episode, but hear me out. He gave Lila powers again. It's like, you can't just fire somebody and then give them powers, like superpowers, and not expect them to go out. Like, he was like, oh, it's addressed towards a Marinette. But it's like, are you really that dumb? Lila doesn't operate like that. You worked with her. You should know how she operates, right? It's like, Gabriel is so dumb. So yeah, of course Lila got all of his secrets, and in photo form nonetheless. It's like, come on, all she has to do is release this on the internet and Gabriel is fried. Like, he just ruined everything because he wasn't smart. Like, can you believe that? And I gotta say, Lila's power that she used, that was a good power, because everyone uses the rings and all that stuff, so it was a good power to use. So yeah, overall I think that is part of why I liked it, because it was a more realistic power. It was, on theme with Lila. It made sense. So just everything sort of made sense in that regard. So yeah, I think that's partially why I like this episode so much. So yeah, who knows when Lila's going to act on this? It may be a few episodes, but best believe she is going to put everything together and make Gabriel absolutely die, and my guess is what's going to happen. And again, I haven't, seen the episodes or seen the leaks or anything. So this is purely my guess and could be entirely wrong. Don't tell me if you've seen the leaks, if it's wrong or right in the comments. But my guess as to what's going to happen is Lila is going to go to Ladybug with this information, be like, hey, look, I know who Monarch is. She's going to set it up like she's helping Ladybug and Cat Noir, but then she's going to try to backstab them and try to, get their Miraculous instead. That's my guess as to what's going to happen based on what's been happening so far in this season, but who knows? It really could go any way. She could just want to get revenge on Gabriel, but I think she's a bit more of a planner and has a more grand scheme in place. So that's what I think. But anyway, that's really all I had to talk about with this episode. Sorry I sound weird. I'm still a little sick. So yeah, my voice is definitely weird. My nose is a little clogged. I'm not thinking as clearly because, that sort of happens when you're sick. But anyway, yeah, thank you for listening to my thoughts, and I will see you whenever we get more news. Goodbye.